are moments in life when a small decision, something you've done hundreds of times without thinking, can unexpectedly turn into a silent threat. Imagine this: a man in his 70s, alone in his room, seeking just a few minutes of relaxation before bed. He doesn't know it yet, but that decision could push his body further than it can handle. Not because of anything dramatic like a heart attack out of nowhere, but because of a habit that, although perfectly natural, becomes much riskier as we age. I've spent nearly 3 decades working in men's health, and the stories I've witnessed are powerful reminders of how the body changes over time. What used to be harmless at 30 or 40 can become a challenge at 70 or 75. Our society often repeats the message that certain private habits are always safe, even healthy, and for many years that was true. But once you cross the threshold of your 70s, your body no longer follows the same rules. Your heart doesn't pump as strongly as it once did, your blood vessels lose elasticity, and your energy reserves aren't endless anymore. This doesn't mean you should stop enjoying intimacy with yourself. It simply means you need to approach it with greater awareness. Unfortunately, many older men keep treating their bodies as if nothing had changed. That's where the real danger lies. In today's video, I'm going to reveal 4 of the most common mistakes men over 70 make in their private moments. These mistakes are not about shame, judgment, or restriction. They're about safety, health, and protecting your confidence. And please listen closely, because the third mistake is one of the most common and, in many cases, the one that lands older men directly in the emergency room. Let's start with the first mistake, one that seems small but can have a major impact: ignoring physical exhaustion. Picture this. You've had a long day, maybe working in the garden, fixing things around the house, or just running errands. You feel tired, maybe even a bit dehydrated, but you think a moment of relaxation before bed will help you unwind. On the surface, that sounds harmless. But here's the truth most people don't talk about. Even a private act of intimacy requires a significant amount of energy from your body. When you're already fatigued, your cardiovascular system is under stress. Your blood pressure regulation is less stable, your heart is working harder, and your circulation is less efficient. Add in the physical demands of arousal, the faster heartbeat, the muscle tension, the changes in blood flow, and suddenly you're asking your body to perform at a level it may not be prepared for. This can lead to dizziness, fainting, or even chest discomfort. I've seen older men collapse in their bathrooms or bedrooms because their bodies simply couldn't keep up. And what's most alarming is that many dismiss it as just being tired or a one-time thing. But when these episodes repeat, the risks add up. The solution isn't to stop altogether. It's to be intentional. Choose your moments when you feel rested and hydrated, not when you're exhausted. Make sure you're sitting in a safe, comfortable position where your body feels supported. Think of it less as a release at the end of a long day, and more as an activity best enjoyed when your energy is balanced. This shift in mindset alone can dramatically reduce the risks. Now let's move to the second mistake, which has less to do with your body and more to do with your mindset: rushing and emotional disconnection. Many men in their 70s approach intimacy with themselves as if it's something to get over with. They hurry through it, often carrying decades of social judgment or guilt. Instead of allowing it to be a moment of relaxation and presence, they treat it like a mechanical task. What they don't realize is that this rushing keeps the nervous system in a state of alert. The body doesn't shift into relaxation. Instead, it stays in a low-level fight or flight mode. Your breathing becomes shallow, your muscles tense, and your circulation is restricted. Over time, this can create real physical consequences: reduced sensitivity, weaker erections, slower recovery, and even more stress on the heart and prostate. But when you slow down, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to be present, the results are very different. Your nervous system calms down, blood flow improves, your body relaxes, and the experience becomes safer and more enjoyable. I've heard countless men tell me that this simple change improved not only their physical health but also their sleep, mood, and overall sense of confidence. The third mistake is the one that surprises most men: unsafe positions. Many older men keep the same habits they had when they were younger: standing in the shower, leaning against the sink, or sitting awkwardly on the edge of the bed. But at 70 or older, your balance is not what it once was. Your reflexes are slower, and your muscles may not respond as quickly in moments of weakness. Now imagine being in a slippery bathroom, your blood pressure suddenly dropping after the release, and your knees giving out. This is not an exaggeration. It's a reality I've seen many times in my practice. Older men fainting in the shower, falling on hard surfaces, and ending up with fractures or head injuries. One man I treated fractured his hip after collapsing in the bathroom. He went from living independently to months of painful rehabilitation, all because of one unsafe moment in the wrong position. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Your environment matters. Sitting in a safe, supported position with your back rested and your feet firmly on the ground reduces the risk of falls and improves circulation. It may feel like a small adjustment, but it can make the difference between a safe experience and a medical emergency. Finally, let's talk about the fourth mistake: ignoring your body's subtle warnings. Many men notice changes: slower arousal, weaker sensations, delayed release, but they shrug them off as just aging. They don't realize these changes are often early signs of underlying issues: poor circulation, hormonal imbalances, nerve damage, or prostate concerns. By ignoring them, they miss the chance to address these issues early, when they're most treatable. I've seen too many men wait until things become critical, when what started as a slight decrease in sensitivity turns into full erectile dysfunction, or when minor urinary changes develop into significant prostate problems. And when I ask, when did you first notice this? The answer is almost always the same: months or years ago. Your body doesn't fail overnight. It whispers first, through small changes, and only later does it shout with serious problems. Listening to those whispers and seeking medical advice early can prevent years of frustration and protect your long-term health. As we continue exploring the silent dangers that many men over 70 face during intimate moments, it's crucial to understand the subtle signals your body sends. Error 4, the most overlooked of all, is ignoring the whispers of your own body. At this age, small changes are often the earliest messengers of underlying health issues. Perhaps you notice a slight delay in achieving arousal, a less firm erection, or a diminished intensity during climax. Many men brush this off as just part of aging, thinking, it's normal at my age. But dismissing these signs can be dangerous. They are not random. They are the first warnings of potential circulatory problems, hormonal imbalances, nerve damage, or early prostate issues. The longer you ignore them, the higher the risk of silent progression into more serious conditions, sometimes irreversible. I've seen hundreds of men who only sought help when it was almost too late. What started as minor sensitivity loss escalated into erectile dysfunction, interrupted sleep, pelvic discomfort, or diagnoses like benign prostatic hyperplasia or even prostate cancer. When I ask them when they first noticed the changes, the answer is almost always the same: some time ago, doctor, but I thought it was just age. This assumption is a trap. Your body communicates long before it fails. Subtle changes in sexual sensitivity, difficulty maintaining arousal, or altered ejaculation patterns are direct messages from your vascular, nervous, and endocrine systems. And what makes this even more dangerous is the shame many men feel. Instead of seeking advice, they hide it. They pretend nothing is happening, withdrawing quietly, which not only delays potentially crucial treatment but erodes confidence, intimacy, and connection with their own body. The good news is this path is reversible. By paying attention to your body's messages and not dismissing them as normal aging, you can take early and effective action. A visit to a men's health specialist, a simple blood test, or small adjustments in diet and exercise can make a significant difference. Many conditions, if detected early, are manageable or even reversible, but only if you are willing to listen. Your body has been your companion for 70, 75, maybe 80 years. It deserves attention, not only when something breaks, but when it begins to whisper. Ignoring these subtle warnings could be your only alert. Now that the truth has been laid out calmly and clearly, the most important question arises: what will you do with this knowledge? These were not just 4 isolated errors. They reflect a deeper reality that many men over 70 live in silence every day. A reality where intimacy becomes rushed, private moments are taken for granted, safety is overlooked, and subtle bodily warnings are ignored. Aging does not diminish your value, does not make your needs less important, and certainly does not mean you must live disconnected from your body, pleasure, or confidence. This stage of life demands wisdom, presence, and courage. You have seen what happens when these warnings are ignored. I've shared real stories of men like you. Some paid a high price. Others managed to change their course. The unifying message is simple. The power of choice is still in your hands. You still have the ability to make decisions that protect your heart, circulation, confidence, and dignity. Think of how often you've said, "I'm fine," or "it's nothing important." Think of how easy it has been to follow the same routine, masturbating while tired, rushing through the act, adopting risky postures, or ignoring changes in sensitivity simply because it's what you've always done. But what if continuing out of inertia is exactly what is stealing your strength? What if that silent routine is gradually robbing you of balance, vitality, and connection with yourself? That is not aging, it is avoidance, and it doesn't have to be your story. You deserve better. You deserve to feel safe in your body, to experience intimacy, even with yourself, in a way that strengthens rather than weakens. This begins with awareness. Listening to your body, choosing the right time, mindset, and environment, and being willing to talk about what others are too embarrassed to admit. Remember, the goal has never been just to reach old age. It's to live it fully. To navigate this chapter without fear or silence, with confidence, clarity, and respect for the life you have built and the body that has carried you through it. Every moment of intimacy can reinforce that strength or silently diminish it. The choice is always yours. Take what you have learned today. Let it challenge you. Let it shift your perspective. Let it guide you toward better habits. Habits that nourish instead of deplete. Whether it's sitting instead of standing, slowing down instead of rushing, or paying attention instead of ignoring, these small changes create monumental differences. They not only protect your body but restore peace of mind. If this message has resonated with you even a little, I invite you to take one simple action today. Adjust your routine, listen more carefully to your body, or simply acknowledge that your needs are still important. That first step is incredibly powerful. Write 1 in the comments if you are ready to take care of your health and your years with greater intention. And if this video has helped you, consider subscribing and sharing it with a friend who could also benefit. Your story and your decisions matter. Together, we can break the silence around aging, intimacy, and male strength. Thank you for your time, for listening, and for choosing to live these years wisely. You are not alone, and your best years may still be ahead.